Weep Link.
Way to go, superstar!
Two minutes. 2 minutes, Nico.
Carl!
Hey, Carl, little buddy, welcome back. I'm struggling tooth and nail to keep going with my Saturdays because Thursdays are a tire fire, but look at that, we've made it. We're back here. We're going back to the UK again. We might even make it to Ireland today. Who knows? Bardic, Miss Moon, Vicky B, thank you all for your resubs. I've got, well, for me, the train is just right up over here. It's got a minute to go, and then we're going to get that out of the way so we can proceed with things. So Bardic and I have it on a decent authority that there may not be a Dan Servo stream today, which is tragic, but it does mean I might have that little extra bit of window I need to just get through this stupid slideshow so that we can get this stuff done with, because no one wants to see this anymore, except I do. So I'm going to keep looking at it. Master Jedi is sitting over here just laughing away, just yelling at news on our iPad and stuff. So she'll be here to correct me every time I lie to you again. So everyone has that to look forward to, because there's nothing quite as embarrassing. And I'm excited to see who I can dox this week with some sort of personal what is PII? Personally identifiable information. That's it. So, look at Bardic squeezing in with the gifts. I hope you got your very, very strongly personalized 35% discount, because that is critical at this stage. There's Master Jedi showing up. Welcome back. Welcome, everybody. Everybody's waving. And there's actually a couple of viewers bitching. So we ended the last tour. God damn it, Nico. Okay, here. I guess Thorsten should probably thank somebody for their gift sub. So there you go. Thank you, Marty. Ooh, Icy Rain. I actually know Icy Rain. They tend to hang out on Captain Erock's channel. I believe that's where they came from. Wimp! You got Wimp. Perfect. Now Wimp gets dog emotes, and I think Wimp's going to be good with that. So where did we end? We ended last session by finally making it to Miss Moon. Technically, we actually met Miss Moon the day beforehand, but that was the first time. That was the first time we got a picture with just me and Miss Moon. And I think all of the other pictures we have other people who shall not be identified or disclosed or doxed on air here. So that may have been the one and only one, but we are in the process of circumnavigating Loch Lomond. So we're gonna kick off at that point. We end up making our way back into Edinburgh, where we go to what is apparently the best fish and chips place there. It's Patter approved, Patter recommended, Patter approved. So I'm not gonna say that he's a big fat liar or anything, because they were really good. And mushy peas, so good that Master Jedi and I both loved them, which is more an England thing than a Scotland thing, but this one place had them, so we had them too, and they were pretty damn good. Patter was an absolute tour guide. Patter was so much fun, because the more into everything he got, the less English he spoke, and the more Englandish he spoke. And there were a few moments where I was just doing the nod and the smile, because I had no idea what the hell was coming out of his mouth anymore, but it all went over perfectly. I'm sure he was like doing the internal nod back at me when we had no idea what each other was saying, but we were having so much fun it didn't matter. It's the international relations. Some of us in this country can still do that. Okay, breathe. On that front, Master Jedi has a friend in Canada who thinks it's weird that, and there's the point system for getting into Canada, and we didn't quite have enough points to do it on our own without an existing job offer. They thought that was strange, and that with our two careers we should be able to score enough to, at least get the extended visit type visa. So we're gonna go back through that again. Maybe like Calgary has some good jobs or something. That's right, you forgot to trigger the bees. Okay, luckily the bees are here. Now as we've noticed down here, I still have, well, for Dan Servo it's the smooth jazz. Well, it was the smooth jazz. I actually paid the Patreon fee to get access to the multiple jazzes, not just the smooth kind. But now that it's back to working with the clips again, Dan hates it, because he doesn't like all those clips. Oh my God, Lana throwing out gifts too, keeping that train going. or are you going to try starting a new one? Wait a minute. I'm getting conflicting reports from Twitch here. Hang on. Keep going, Twitch. I see these. Ooh, Shadowbug. Shadowbug just followed. So congrats, Shadowbug. Yeah, that was 2 days ago, as a matter of fact. That was the last follow. Nice. Master Jedi did catch it before it hit 0. We are rocketing up the ranks. I think... Bardock, I think you only needed one more of the new emotes. It looks like I'm going to be getting the Serval. The Serval that does this. There's also a Cud Chewer. Ooh, that's a good emote. And Fadud Hex. Probably not a real person. Oh, did you already max out the 5 that they started with? Well, good on you. With a 35% discount, I may have to populate Miss Moon's stream in the next time you're up and running. I just love emotes. If anyone has not had a chance to meet Spokescat, who usually hangs out in Urgent Sandwich's stream, but kind of floats around some of the others in a couple of our orbits. Spokescat, I'm pretty sure, has subs to about 100 different channels just so that they have every single cat emote that they can find on the internet. And Spokescat has an emote for every single situation. It's like watching Prophecy in action, how amazing it is that Spokescat has just the right emote. Now, it's got a cat in it no matter what the situation is, but the situation is there, and the emote comes in. It's kind of amazing to watch. Let's see. Okay, so that catches up to where we were. I have the photo app preloaded. It's the me and Miss Moon standing there on the shores of Loch Lomond. So we're going to go from there. I've got a great story about lunch. This is this amazing lunch place that absolutely we would never have found without Patter to be our tour guide. So Patter's definitely going to get all of the credit for this day's adventure. We go back. We have another 2 days, another day and a half, another 3/4 day. We may only have kind of the 3/4 day left after this day of adventure. So there's a small chance we make it to Ireland. And if I look over when we get to 4 and I'm nowhere near done and Dan Servo isn't streaming, I may push through to get this done now. Otherwise, next Saturday will definitely be the conclusion. That will be the 13th. That definitely got to be done with the photos by then, because the new Millennium Tales Adventures of Elliot comes out on the 18th. I am supposed to receive it on the 19th. So that is becoming Sea of Saturdays on the 20th. So today and next Saturday, the last 2 days, I had to do with pictures. Yeah, that's right. In fact, let's go for the double. Yeah, we're going for the double thumbs. So we'll see where we get when we get there. It's possible Dan's back might ease up on him, and then he'll come back in. But he did a little something there. So depending on how conveniently he feels he can sit for a while, I think that's really what's going to determine it. So I'll keep an eye on that for everybody. Bardock will keep an eye on that for everybody as well, because he'll end up letting us know first, and we will see how things go there. How is my work going? Everybody's employment is just crap here. We still have the jobs, but it is so tenuous right now. I can see the flashing signs on mine getting ready to jettison us. I ended up working 11 hours yesterday and pushed all the way to the end. I got a thing deployed out to our QA. That was the second time I had it deployed to QA for the day, because I need to build an interface with a system that it is not possible for me to connect to from my development environment. It will only work from QA, so I have to guess at what the interface actually is. The first deployment, I literally had to guess. So we went off of some conversations that we'd had in our stand-up meeting earlier in the day. Big surprise, didn't work. But at least then I had access to their code repository, so I could feed what's supposed to be their end of the contract into the computer and have it generate a class for me that would allow us to talk. Finally got it deployed as of like 6 or 7 p.m. It was at 6 p.m. because I started at 7, so that was my 11 hours. And it failed the exact same way. It got an answer back from this other server, but it didn't know what to do with it because the contract form was wrong, so it was reading it wrong. And at that point, everybody else had left, and I can't get anything deployed to QA without approval from somebody else. It's a good safety feature. That's how we're going to protect ourselves from AI, at least initially. And so no one was left. So I had to hang my head in shame. And instead, I went and I played some computer games with Dan and Bardic. That was pretty fun for a while. Okay, the train is over. It gets that all off screen. Thank you, everybody, for your deep generosity. The funds will help pay for something around here. I had paid for the multiple jazz thing. I'm not sure how much I like it anymore. So the one that I recommended to Dan that it gives you the option of not doing clips, but you have to put your own music over the top of it. I may move to that one as well, because it also features a couple of other handy things, like my startup screen, where I put the logo for the game that I'm playing here. Right now, I manually hunt those down and I piece them all in myself together. This one tool will actually do a startup page where it'll put the box art and then a description of the game. Actually, there's one option that I think that even puts the timer. So the timer that I have run down here, I may not even have to run my own timer. So I may go do that. So I'm going to experiment with that between now and next Saturday. So yeah, I had to hang my head in shame. So honestly, probably tonight or tomorrow, I'm going to write up some additional code that just does a crap ton of logging, which we don't want in our production version of the code, but that's the only way I have visibility on what the hell's going on in QA. So I'm going to have to write up the code. I'm going to have to get a code review prepped, and then I'm going to foist it on a couple of our East Coasters who start much earlier in the morning than I do. Start a little bit earlier than I do. To see if I can get them to do the approval and then the merging so that it's deployed out to QA, ready for me to start looking at the results the moment I start work, instead of having to burn my first hour of work just sitting around and waiting, because that was killing me yesterday, especially when I did all that and it didn't work. God damn it, Nico. Games were much better than stupid push. Yeah, I know, the push to QA thing. It's a good thing I didn't have my regular Friday game, because I would have had to have been a good hour late for it, which it would be a faux pas. So I would have been forced to decide if I just abandoned her. I kept telling my boss, who was the only one who stayed late enough to do the last approval I needed. I kept telling him, I'm going to do this one thing, and if it doesn't work, then forget it. I'm going to quit. But he kept talking to me, and he was so super excited at the possibility that our team would look like heroes if we got this thing deployed before the weekend. So, of course, I screwed that all up. Way to go, me. But we'll get it fixed on Monday. But it goes through two more Thursdays. This horrible panic push that we have to get a product delivered. So I'm probably going to be missing the next 2 Thursday streams. That'll be the 11th and the 18th. But I will be doing the Saturday ones. And then after the 20th, I'm hoping to go back to my now normal Thursday, Saturday schedule. Unless all of a sudden now Thursdays are so cram-packed that I go back to Wednesday again. I don't know. I give up trying to understand my schedule anymore. So that's going to keep us covered there. I've got all the buttons pushed. There's a green button it wants me to push again. I'm going to do that real quick. I don't know what that pop-up is about, but it's probably not a problem, so I'm just going to close it. And let's go take a look at pictures. Boom. How long did it take? 20 minutes, almost to the second. Here we are. This is where we left off. Miss Moon herself and I standing on the shores of my ancestral home lake. That's how I'm going to pitch it from now on, at least. I need this window up so that I can have control. There you go. Oh, also one more side note. The Bird Buddy is back up and running pretty successfully. We are suffering an invasion of those filthy house finches that like to sit in the middle of the food and then chase off the other birds. It could have been up and running today, but it's actually periodically raining kind of heavy for the area here, which is nothing compared to the rain in the Midwest. I'm going to throw that out there every damn time it comes up. But it's been raining enough that we don't want to get the food all soggy, weird, wet, and potentially cause problems for the birds. The finches had that really nasty finch eye stuff at the end of last season that was really gross, and so I'm afraid no bird buddy today. But there's a good possibility that I'll finally be able to bring it back next week. It'll probably depend on whether we're doing if we're having to catch up on Ireland finally next week or not. So let's get rolling. We'll figure out what the hell's going on a little later on. Bring this up to the top, and we're walking. Boom, here we go. So we are back to checking out. Oh, no, this is interesting. It is locking in on the hard position of this window instead of the relative position. Good to know. Okay, so don't touch the window. There was an OBS update. It changed the way I had to capture this window, and it has ruined everything. Welcome to my world. Okay, there we go. We're going with that. That's okay. I can still make this work. I can't see all of my OBS screens. So, like for instance, I can't see me anymore, but that's okay. I know where I am. I'm down in this corridor right over here. So here we go. We are on the shore. This would be the western shore of the loch, and there's going to be a lot of it. We actually walked quite a ways up just because there was like the old highway along one side. It had been blocked off to traffic because there's the new highway just a little farther up the hillside. And you did have to watch out for bicyclists, though. There's a lot like Portland. There are just bikes everywhere. Lots of retaining walls. Everyone loves a good retaining wall. The separation between the lowlands and the highlands of Scotland cuts straight across the middle of this loch. So that hill off in the distance is the highlands. And at this point, I honestly don't remember if we're technically lowland or highland right here. It really doesn't matter. It's still just a cool geographical feature. I think we're actually north of it, though. There's some sizable islands in the middle that I think kind of populate the slightly diagonal dividing line, and we were north of those at this point. So welcome to the Highlands, everybody. We're all chuchters now. I got that from last stream, if you were here. So looking back across the loch at... I don't know. Chances are that hill there is named Ben something or other, because that's the name for the mountains. We're at Firkin Point because it sounds funny. That's all there is to that. There's more hillside up there. Oh, this is back up on the highway. So there's a hill up there. Most of these pictures are going to be taken from the car while we were in motion. So the glass actually didn't mess too badly with the focus. iPhones are actually really good at being able to focus through glass and not getting too confused by it, as long as you can keep the reflections down a little bit. But we're definitely going to get lots of power lines and things, fences especially, just because unfortunately at 40 to 60 miles an hour, it was kind of hard to get pictures in between things nicely. That's a brick retaining wall. Trying to figure out where even was this? Arrochar or Arrochar. I don't know how they want to pronounce the CH in this particular. I have no memory of this. But I took another picture of it. Now that's a guardrail. That I get. And then that is taking a picture back the other side. I believe at this point we've kind of taken a miniature veer away from the loch, and we're heading up toward a low saddle pass. Yeah, we're working our way up the hill here. Very reminiscent to me of the road up to the Continental Divide at Rocky Mountain National Park. You know the name of that road.
Yeah, Trail Ridge Road.
Trail Ridge Road. See, that's why Master Jedi loves to be sitting here while I'm doing the photos. So yeah, very reminiscent of Trail Ridge Road, kind of up above Timberline, although Timberline isn't really applicable here the same way it is up in the high country around the Rockies. It just kind of happens to work out this way. I think it's because the sheep ate everything except the real short grass over there. There's a great big rock. More pictures up in the valleys. So there's some trees. There's a few trees here and there. Now at this point, we have reached Patter's secret location. He used to drive, or may still from time to time, drive his truck up that road there, coming off to the left side of the shot, up over this low saddle pass up at the top. And there is a food truck at the top of this pass. So we hit the food truck up here before turning around and going back down. So yeah, there's a couple of little benches and things set up with a nice rock overlook. Took another picture that way with a dirt road. Dirt roads always excite me because I have a 4-wheel drive vehicle. And then, let's see if I bring that to, okay, now I can see where I am. I don't think I can reach, nope, not quite all the way over there. So you can see the food truck sitting behind that white car that's nose toward the camera there. Quality food, and this is hard to see without moving the window. Quality food, freshly prepared for you, and by God, was it ever. I got I've moved that so I'm out of the camera. There we go. I got the best brie and bacon sandwich I have ever had. And it's not just the dry, crispy old American bacon. It was good quality English bacon. The nice thick stuff. It's like getting pork chops with your brie sandwich. It was so good. Master Jedi got the brie and cranberry version because she is not that hot on the whole baconing. Just as good, just sweeter. This was kind of the big difference. And then there were crisps and bottles of fluids and all kinds of stuff going all over the place. Oh, it was so good. The temperature had dipped a little bit, but I believe I had a long sleeve shirt on, so I was fine. Short sleeves like this, it might have been a little cold with the wind whipping up there. It's not that much elevation, I guess, depending on where you live normally. So yeah, compared to Colorado, no, not even close. Compared to my house here, it would still be higher, but I don't remember the exact elevation. But that saddle that it sits in got a little bit of whip of wind that would come through there. But totally made up for it with those sandwiches. And we got there just in time. Ours got served up. We walked out to a couple of the benches out there. I think someone had wondered about the ability to go back and ask a question, maybe get one more thing, something else. Boom. They had shut down. They were busy cleaning stuff up. I think at that point it was either 2 or 3 o'clock, but they decided, yep, that was all they were doing for the day. They were out. That is standing in between the food cart and the prior view spot, looking down that valley. That is looking ever so slightly to the left, just to prove that there's, I don't know, street signs or something over there. Get a picture of the hill. I don't know. I take pictures of everything. There's a picture that's almost exactly the same as two of them ago, except that the one car that was leaving is now left. There's water rushing down the hillside there, causing problems. This was a spot where the road was down to one lane, so you had these signs telling you to please not crash into each other and obey the signals. And we're driving. There's our parking stub in the window. That's not enough to dox anybody, I don't think. We're following a red van with the yellow striping. Plus there's some cool looking buildings. I'm going to be honest. Probably took the picture just because of the red and the yellow stripes. I don't know if that was a roadway or perhaps a train trestle. Might have been train. I didn't know for sure, so I took a picture of it just because I thought it looked cool with the nice stone construction. And we got stuck behind that truck for a little while, but it wasn't as bad as I had kind of expected. But yeah, we're still stuck behind that truck. And look, the truck's still there. Plus a neat building. I think this was a rec spa near the north end of the loch. And this is the point where that's almost literally the north of the lake itself, and then it turns into the feeding river. The river would have come down from, actually, I guess to do this correctly, I have to do it the other way. Yeah, I think the river feeds in left to right into the north end of the loch, and then it runs out the south toward Glasgow. And so now we've cleared it, and we're driving. This time I managed to get some of the windshield because we picked up a couple of bugs here. Or maybe it rained a little bit. I don't know. It's all the same to me. There's hills running up and up and up. Same hill, slightly different cloud formation. There was this little berm that ran through, and rather than putting the road over the top, they just cut a hole through the berm, but they cut it perpendicular instead of making the path go straight through. So they put up arrow signs, so I took a picture of some arrow signs. Yeah. Oh, that's why they didn't cut it straight through, because apparently there's a train that wants to go over the top of it. Okay, that makes sense. I'll allow it. Long street, a couple traffic cones. We covered last week. I apparently love traffic cones. Can't make out what the flag was for. I don't know if I'm taking a picture of a flag or if I'm taking a picture of the hill. That's just a little bit of water off to the side, an unrelated body of water, a couple of trees, some pavement, good composition. That time I definitely got glass. You can see the reflection. The sun wasn't low at this point, but it was starting to get low, so I caught a lot of extra decrap on the glass. So we're going to fight that for kind of the rest of these pictures. That one I did okay. Way to go, me. Now we're into the sheeps. Lots of sheeps. Not a single Highland coo. I felt robbed. But that's okay. I'll just go back and find coos next time. Snow. We found snow. That's how you know we're in the Highlands now. We found a snow up there. More sheeps. Same sheep. Ooh. Got dirty window. Got a mix of dirty window and fun building. Scottish flag. I knew I took that one on purpose. And then we made a pit stop at Doune Castle. If you've ever seen a castle in a movie, chances are it was this one. That's kind of almost how they pitched it. It definitely, yeah, as indicated by the text there on the sign, it was definitely in a Monty Python, but it was also in the Game of Thrones and at least two others that I recognized. But if I could remember anything, that would be a glorious day. Fun story. The castle had just closed as we got there. So we had just missed the last starting time for a tour. So they had the doors locked up. And as they were then starting to steadily, one at a time, kick the other tours out, this very grouchy woman would open the door, make sure everybody got out, and she would stare daggers at anyone else standing anywhere near the vicinity of that door, just daring them to try to come in. She was going to mess them up if she had to. Hang on, I got to go back to OBS to see. The Rob Saw. Oh, man, oh, damn it. I missed a Rob Saw stream. Oh, no. Welcome in, Raiders. Wow. That over there is an old clip. Congratulations, Rob Saw. Yeah, I'm really thinking pretty hard about ditching the clip player. I like the shout-outs. I think I'm going to go with the new one that I recommended to Dan that just kind of advertises the channel. I think it'll show what you were last playing/doing in case you were building robots and having coffee. Or playing Valheim in this case. So one of these days, I always meant to get into Valheim. I was gonna do it for Taka, and then that went the way that went. Valheim and coffee. Well, that's a good combo too.
Either the heroin alley or the poop alley. And I'll choose heroin over
the heroin alley or the poop alley. Yeah, I've been there. I've been there before. Valheim is good. So I did actually pony up and I bought the Storage Hunter Simulation so I could play with Dan and Bardic. When you get into that one, Miss Moon, you let me know and I can join you on that one too. What else am I looking at? I've got Outbound, although it's not cross-play, and I got it on the Switch. So someone else would have to get it on Switch for me to play that one too. So that one's probably not going to happen. It's a pretty chill game. I don't know if it's really super conducive to multiplayer anyway, but that's another one that I've got going on. Bardic will pick it up on Switch just so we can play the once or twice. The one that I like doing on Switch, I got to bug Nico about that, is we started Torchlight. Because Torchlight 2 and 3 were both put out on the Switch. And we started playing 2 together, and we got a good chunk into it before shiny things came up. I got to do a lot more of that stuff. Anyway, welcome in, Rob and Raiders. I am going through all of the photos from our trip to England, Scotland, and Ireland. This is week 3 because I am slow and I tend to get jibber-jabbery. It might go to week 4. It's going to depend on whether our good buddy Dan Servo actually streams today or not. It also depends on whether I even manage to finally get to the end of Scotland at the end of my little 2-hour window here. If I just get to the end of Scotland, then yeah, next week we'll come back and we'll do Ireland. And then the photo montage is finally going to be over. And then starting on the 20th, we're doing the Adventures of Elliot. Back to Sea of Saturdays like normal. And then my Thursday streams can finally pick back up. I actually played a little bit of SnowRunner again 4 or 5 days ago. Yeah, I think it was, we'll call it Monday. It was like Monday-ish. I had the Steam Deck open for something else, and I finally decided I got to get back into SnowRunner. I spent so long being bitter that it kind of fell off my radar, but I'm trying to get back into it now. And I actually did something successfully. I encountered a small bug in the game, and I worked around it, and I didn't have to swear, and it didn't ruin my save, so I felt pretty good. It's better than normal. Dumbass game. So that might be making a midweek return. I don't know. We'll see about it. If I do finish the pictures today, then next Saturday I've got a game I've been eyeing that has Twitch integration. I may put that one in. So that is where we currently stand. We are now at Dune Castle, the castle in half of your movies out there that have castles in them. And that's what it is. Right down there at the bottom center is the door. If you're standing anywhere near that door after the last tour has been admitted, you are going to get stink eye whenever they kick other people out. I got a little bit closer. My focus got a little bit softer there. I found regular cows. I'm sorry, regular coos. They can be a coo even if they're not a Highland coo. But yeah, that's as close to Highland coos as I got. Those are coos in the... You know, we're not even in the Highlands anymore. These are lowland coos. That's what makes them really different. That must have been a photo that Master Jedi... I can go back and check. Nope. Somehow I ended up... Oh, I take it back. If you're standing here and you turn 90 degrees to the left, there were some lowland coos hanging out. And then you turn 90 degrees back to the right and you get even a little closer to the castle. You're taking a gamble that the mean lady isn't going to pop her head out while you're taking pictures. And then you take a picture straight up the wall. And then you sneak a picture of the door. You notice I got a great big padlock on it. And so there's the photo of the castle. Well, the photo of a map of the castle in case we got lost. Lots of walking trails in this particular area. But at this point, it had been actually quite a long day in the car. So, you know, wasn't nobody walking more than they needed to. Sneaking a picture of the... Oh, wait till we get to Ireland and you figure out what maybe I... Actually, I didn't really get a picture of it. There was something you were explicitly not to take pictures of. And I had my phone out to get to the audio tour. And I got yelled at so hard, I didn't even take a picture. But that's a little bit of spoiler for the Ireland portion. But there were plenty of other people taking pictures, but I'm the one who got yelled at because, you know. There's a picture of windshield dirt. which is kind of a bummer because the windshield wasn't that dirty. I mean, I don't want to disparage Patter in any capacity here. It's not his fault or his responsibility, but wow, I did an amazing job of picking up on that sometimes. Sometimes the phone focused a little too hard. Dan has confirmed. Okay, well, we'll see how I'm going. If I get to 4 o'clock and I'm just finishing Scotland, then Ireland can wait till next week because, you know, if it's not Scottish, it's crap. That's Stirling Castle. I want to say that's Stirling Castle. Yes. Yeah, I have it trimmed off the top here, but it is telling me that this was taken in Stirling. So that is Stirling Castle. That is a nice big castle on the hill. Super viewable from the highway. So we all voted. We'll just look at it from the car as we drive by, take some pictures. Let's keep going. By that point, everybody's back kind of hurt. So there it is. I'm not sure why I'm tilted a little bit, but we'll fix that in post. But that is the castle up on the hill. It's a good place to put a castle, by the way. And so there's a better picture. I'm still tilted a little bit. I took a bunch of pictures because we were moving. Oh, I got some sheep in there too. There's the sign so that I would remember that it was Castle Stirling. There's the good view, and that's the closest that you get. Also, we figured that because Castle Doon had closed on us and they were kind of mean about it, that this one would definitely have been closed as well. I bet they wouldn't have been jerks about it, but they still wouldn't have let us in. So we got a couple of pictures as we flew by. For those who know, we didn't go to the Falkirk Wheel, but this is where the highway exit is to go see it. It's the big, it's like the Gatling gun of boat bridges, or boat canal things. Google it, you'll get it. You'll see what it looks like because we didn't go over there, so I didn't take its picture. Just the sign. Lots of rapeseed everywhere, super yellow. And that's more a picture of the weeds in front of the rapeseed. And then Patter would not let us go if we didn't at least take pictures of the 3 or 4. There's a whole ton of these bridges all built together right here. I'm going to guess one is probably the new bridge, one is probably the old bridge, and one is probably the rail bridge. And they just all exist together because you increase the volume that you can get across I think technically at this point, it's really more of a bay. I don't think it's river here. I think it's actual bay off of the North Atlantic. So I got lots of pictures of the bridge. There's a little bit of a zoom on the bridge. You can see the 3 types that are in there. The red girders and kind of your golden gate with the cables arched off the top, and then that one that's right by the arena in Boston that has the tons of cables coming off the side. So 3 very pretty bridges. We saw them. I took lots of pictures to make sure that I was covered. Lots of pictures. I got lots of pictures of this bridge. South Queensferry is the area, in case that helps you. Lots of pictures. Did I mention that of the 500 pictures, or I'm sorry, 453 that I have in Scotland, 200 of them are all of these bridges? Because we're going to keep going. We're going to do it. We're slightly past the first one. So now you can see these 2 in profile. And now we get the whole fence issue in the way. That might have been the last one. Yeah, there we go. I just took a picture of it because I liked all of the cranes in the dockwork area. It turns out the red brick building, I'm pointing like this means anything. I'm not even pointing at anything when I do this. But kind of mid up on the right-hand side, that red brick building, that's where we're going for fish and chips. So there's a lighthouse just to the left that I didn't take a picture of here. So this is kind of your waterfront out in front of out of the chippy shop. There it is. I finally realized, I missed the lighthouse. Let me take this picture again. So little lighthouse, cool, almost a full sundog happening in this photo. Kind of proud of that. And this must have been a picture of the roof of the train station way back in central Edinburgh that got texted to me in the middle of the chip stop there. So it got inserted chronologically at this point. Okay, a couple of them. Nope. Did I actually not have pictures of the fish and chips? That's so weird. Normally I take pictures of all of my food. Hang on, we're going to go back. We're going to look. No, I didn't take pictures of either the fish or the chips or the mushy peas. Well, I failed. You know what? Class is over. Everyone go home. This is done. I can't stream anymore. Anyway, we're going back up to the Royal Mile. This is now our last day, but we don't have a flight out to Ireland until I think it's an 8:30 flight, which was scheduled to get in at 9:45, but it was on an Irish airline, and they decided, yeah, you know what? We kind of think maybe everybody's already checked in the flight, so we're just going to leave like 20 minutes early. So if you can hear this page, get on the plane. So we ended up going really early. I think we ended up at the hotel on the other end by 9:30. So we got to the hotel before we were even supposed to land. No picture of fish chips or mushy peas. I know, exactly. I know, I'm a total failure. I wonder if I edited them out because maybe they were, maybe they violated TOS. It was probably a Twitch restriction. I was just looking out for everybody because I didn't want you to be penalized. So this is our last day. It was going to be a long day. So we were kind of mulling what kind of plans might work with Miss Moon and Patter in the morning. We probably would have ended up back at that awesome pancake place. But just because of timing, the morning timing and drive times and all that other stuff, we ended up meeting up real quick. We waved goodbye and then we kicked them out of the country. And then we just went walking around. This was kind of our souvenir shopping day. So I know that I've got some pictures that included the souvenirs, which I have edited out just in case family is poking around looking at stuff. One of these days, we're going to remember to send these souvenirs to members of the family, but it hasn't happened yet. This'll do nicely. Everyone loves a good wordplay. Man, I wish old Bacon Snakes was here. He would love a fun bit of wordplay. This is the Netherbow wellhead. Please. Oh, yes. I actually took a picture of the wellhead after taking a picture of the sign telling me what the wellhead is. Usually I do those in the other order, but sometimes I get excited. So once upon a time, I guess you would have gotten your water here. But that time is not now. This is still by the wellhead. This is looking... We actually didn't go this direction down the Royal Mile on the first day that we were there. The first full day we were there. So we're doing a little exploratory surgery down this direction. And then this one facade was having some serious work done on it. So the sidewalk got extra skinny. And that is a real tight zoom on the exact same shot. You can make out the ocean in the distance out there. That's the best I've got for why I took a super zoom on that. Also, you can see the hop-on, hop-off bus. We did take one of those. I know we did one in Ireland. We did end up with one in England too. We just didn't do the hop-on, hop-off in Edinburgh because we were our hotel was right on the tram line and the buses were easy to deal with. So we just did regular buses for that. This is just because I'm a developer. Good crack is funny to me because it's the globally unique identifier. But I don't think that's what they actually meant this as. But maybe they did. I don't know. Maybe the Scottish storytellers were all computer nerds, and so they were going to tell unique ID stories. But yeah, I'm gonna bring that one into work. And 3 people will kind of laugh very briefly, and then we'll all have had a good time, and then we'll go back to work. The World's End. I found it. Loved the movie, so now I got a picture of it. The world didn't end while we were there, though. And then that's a picture of the Royal Mile sign above the World's End, just for proof of, I don't know, whatever. Auto Spud is the most adorable Spud out there. Locally, we are getting a new potato cart. I don't know exactly what they're going to do special, but they are going to specialize in some sort of potato sustenance in a very Portland way. So I'm looking forward to that as well. There's Spud himself. Where every potato wears a kilt. That says lurk. I just thought that was cool. So I took a picture of the lurk sign. Tweeds of Scotland. We popped in there. We actually got, because the chances that she's watching are pretty low right now, we got Mama Jedi a souvenir from here. Actually, I got me a souvenir. I think I only ended up with 2 souvenirs, not counting edible items. I only ended up with 2 souvenirs from the entire trip. One from here, and I got one of the special marble from Ireland. So we got a couple of pictures of the Tweed place. This is ever so slightly blurry, but this is where we had lunch on the Royal Mile. We sat up in the slightly... I can't see my reflection on OBS. I think I need to point this way. The slightly elevated section in the back up there. Yeah, up here. So I took a picture of the booze list. Tollbooth Tavern. That's why I took the picture, so I would know what the tavern was. I took a picture of summer spritzers. This actually better shows that it's the Tollbooth Tavern. Maybe I was just excited by all of the Lommonds. Ben Lomond. That was the name of the big hill. There you go. It was a Ben. And then I took a picture of the t-shirt. I thought about getting one of those t-shirts, but I did not. So when we go back, I'm going to get one, or I'm going to call Jason Bullman real quick and ask him to just get me one. The Tollbooth Tavern might actually be bottom left where the crowd is standing. The door to it might actually be that one right there. So this is definitely the block that tavern sits in. Now we are off to the National Museum. Interestingly, the entrance, you actually had to go down, not up to those doors. That's a picture of some dude's statue. He's probably super important to the museum. I didn't read it. There's the entrance. You go down into the bottom level. You enter through the gift shop, and then you take a lift up to the ground floor, and then more lifts up to the first through third. I think the main building does 3 floors of actual museum, and then on the sides it goes up to the 7th floor for a rooftop observation point that we will get to. See, I still have another 100 photos to go through. And, there's a chance I might actually make this here. So I thought it was interesting that you could see some of the original, okay, it's not the foundation of the building, but some of the original structure of the building in that white stone just right behind this fancy new glass, and the support for the actual building itself, the new parts of the building, and that brown wood in the foreground. And so this is your -1 floor that has a couple of displays in the middle, but then the big gift shop down at the end. The camera on this phone is kind of amazing because this was dark down here, but wow, it soaked in the light to give a really good picture. I'm super proud of that. There's the Viking game with all the cool chess pieces. These chess pieces were everywhere. You could get these chess pieces in chocolate if you wanted. They also, I don't think it was this place, but somewhere else we went to later, had the pieces that were giant as well. So they love the crap out of this Viking game. If you'd like to buy your own little chessmen, apparently you buy them one at a time in this particular size for 14 quid each. If you're really into playing those. Since we had been to Loch Lomond the day before, that's how I got a picture of this. Plus, it's Loch Lomond Scotch whiskey, so didn't actually buy it because they're going to be weird about getting that on the plane. And now you go up to, I guess this would have been considered the ground floor. We came in on -1, so this is ground, and then 1 and 2 above it. So this is kind of your central rotunda area for the museum. There's a whole bunch of displays here in the open floor. And then to the left of the shot, they have a couple galleries that have kind of themed exhibits going on in there. And then if you go straight out the doors, or the archways, both foreground and background, they were matching on either end. Then there's wider open galleries on both of those, and then the ones there in the foreground, that's what goes on up to a tower up on top and lets you take a look around outside. So I'm just, at this point, I'm just kind of taking pictures of anything and everything. That's looking back down the other way toward the other open end. I'm almost positive I took a picture of that sign so I can see. There it is, an Atom Smasher. Oh wait, I got a button for that. Uh-oh. What? Weird. No, that is not the button.
Tactical nuke incoming!
That was the button. Weird. Okay, note to future Jedi. Some of these shortcut buttons apparently do things when you're in Photos app. Okay, I won't touch anything. They had a Lego version of the museum building in there. Very cool. There were a bunch of places in Scotland and Ireland that both had these massive Lego dioramas of the buildings that you were in. I should do that here. I need to build a Lego version of my own house. We got it up. We're up to. Oh, the first. Nico is here. Perfect timing. You've only been blamed 3 times so far, I think, Nico. So we're at the National Museum of Scotland now, Nico. And being from Portland, we see a ton of these lighthouses with these Fresnel lenses in them. So to see one outside of Oregon was particularly cool. Look, it's Nico! So I got that Nico button, and I got that Nico button. I got 2 buttons full of Nico, plus a clip. Yeah, I'm definitely getting rid of the clip thing. The clips have overstayed their welcome, or at least I'd need to tone the clip down to something shorter. 2 minutes, Nico. Yeah, no, I've been going for a little longer than 2 minutes. So, just the fact that there's one of these lighthouse lenses that we can see that isn't within, a couple hour drive of our house was particularly cool. And it's sitting right there in the middle. Everyone loves a good lighthouse. Welcome, Child 4. Oh, I almost choked on my laughter or something, or some spit, whatever it is. She does love it when you guys start pushing buttons and typing keys. Port Scott? You mean Great Scott? I was thinking especially in terms of the Yaquina lighthouse hoodie that I wore almost the entire trip. I think the one day that I didn't have to wear the hoodie was because I brought one kind of heavy long sleeve with me. I wouldn't say it was cold while we were there, but it was gently chilly. That is correct, Nico. Gold star for you. Oh, hey, also, everybody, welcome to the show, Coffee Monkey. Okay, so where are we? We're at the museum. We're looking at lighthouses. The Dolly the Sheep, clone number 1. She was on a coffee break right here, and so she was just standing. I was going to joke, she's standing very still, just waiting for someone to bring her coffee. She's actually not standing very still. The entire thing is rotating. I guess it's so everyone can crowd around and not have to push each other to see any particular angle. So yeah, she just spins forever. Poor thing. But I got her picture. That is some sort of demon straight out of hell. So I've got to take a picture of that. It did label what kind of super monster elk it was, but I probably didn't take a picture of that because that's nowhere near as fun. And the little label that says Explorer down at the bottom, That's actually on the display. That's not something that got added afterward. So there's a picture of the side of it. They are extinct, whatever they are. So that's good because I'm pretty sure they would kill you just for sport. Your mom's ancestor. This thing? That's fair. I'd believe it. I did take a picture of it. Oh my God, I planned ahead so good. I'm a pro at this. The first complete skeleton of a giant deer ever to be discovered on the Isle of Man in 1819. That was like 100 years ago. It was 100 years ago. 100 years ago. Oh my God. 12,300 years old. Yeah, it's dead. True. It's a man deer. Don't worry about it. I guess. I don't know how they know, but I'm not a bone doctor, so I can't tell you how they know these things. There's a Tyrannosaurus because everyone loves a good Tyrannosaurus. I don't know. Did the Tyrannosaurs actually roam the Earth, or were they more North America centric? I always thought they kind of lived over here, and then you had the other cool things that lived over in like Eurasia. Well, now I'm interested, but I'm in the middle of doing something, so I'm not going to go look it up. So you can do that, Nico. But yep, you got to. There's a shark hunting a Tyrannosaurus, which I'm pretty sure would be a sci-fi movie if they actually made movies anymore. You need devil bones? There may be some more in here. It's dinosaur bones. Those are pretty close. There's a squid harassing a shark, chasing a dinosaur, also fleeing from an elephant. And then, the camel's just hanging out in the back smoking, because that's what camels do. And luckily, some of the balcony space was taken up with displays. Some of the balcony space was dedicated to a cafe. We didn't actually get anything at the cafe because we'd been kind of nibbling throughout the day, but we did sit at some of the tables to rest our weary bones for a while. Because, man, if I gotten to brag that during this 2-week trip, we walked 75 miles. So at this point, we're 10 days into the trip. Weirdly, my rooster must serve at that cafe. I don't know what you're on about there, Nico, unless they serve rooster, but that doesn't make any sense. What are you talking about, Nico? In any event, normally with my knee, I can hit almost exactly 3 miles on the pedometer before all of the cushion in there starts to kind of wear out, and then I start grinding bone on bone, and it starts to hurt. And if I make it to 5 miles, I'm down to hobbling. We put on 75 miles in 14 days. And I don't think my knee ever hurt, although I have a previously broken ankle that gets a little twitchy from time to time. That one gave me a little bit of trouble a time or two, but everything in me actually held together pretty well, which was a fun change of pace. But I had big back pain from all of the walking. Brewster! Okay, yes, now I get you, Nico. It is an Animal Crossing reference. That would have been well played if you typed it correctly the first time. I won't actively penalize you, but I'm afraid that there will be no points issued this time around. But, for next time. My body didn't break down. Congratulations to me. That's what made the trip all worth it. So yeah, there's the cafe. There's a wider shot. Most of the display stuff was actually on the near side balconies. And then the first floor on the other side. I'm not sure there was anything up there on the top floor. I think it was blocked off. And they were renovating displays outside of the cafe on that middle floor. That's just a sweet-ass pot. The largest example of scrimshaw in the world. If you're a nerd, this may be about to blow your mind here. Child 4 out! Actually, does that give me a thing? Which one gives me a thing? Is it horns? Or would I have to do doubles? Is it doubles? There they are. Child 4 out. Someone wants you to go to bed. Oh yeah, I guess it is. It is late there ish. I don't know. Oh yeah, yeah. This phone is so bad, and then it proceeded to prove it for the rest of that sentence. Yeah, that was pretty terrible. Thank you for coming to join. Farewell, childs. So here we go. Boom. This isn't even the whole scrimshaw right here. I might have tried to fit it in the whole thing in a little bit, but we'll kind of work our way down. This get me a good view of the whale right there. Boom! There it is. That is the whole scrimshaw. That is a monster piece of bone that I got carved into. I tend to be kind of bored with everything in life. Well, okay, maybe it just comes across that way. But even I thought that this is actually kind of impressive. There's a big ass bone. Two of them, really. And then this is one of the big open air multi-floor things at either end. This was the kind of closer to more science-y side. This had lots of aerial stuff, so they got lots of different flying devices hanging from the ceiling. So I took a little fake animated shot down that direction, kind of through the age of aircraft. And then we took the elevator up. Oh my God, this was the most difficult lift in history to try to get on. Everyone would pile on down at that -1 floor where you walk in so that they could ride it all the way up to the 7th floor, up to the top here. But it meant those of us on any of the intermediate floors could never get on because it was packed from people getting on down at the very bottom. So we ended up having to wait 4 or 5 different car loads before we could finally, just the two of us, push our way in. And then on the way down, we were discovering that what other people had started doing, because we would complain on our way down about how crammed it was going up, is they would, as people would get off at any of these intermediate floors, people who wanted to get up would get on, but we would continue down, and then they would just ride the whole round trip in order to be on the car. And all I could think is, wow, I wish I'd thought of that. So this is up on the top. I know I took a great big panorama shot, but it's going to look really weird and stretchy on stream, so I think I edited those out. You will have to come see me in person to actually witness those. Sounds like the world's most roll. Yeah, it wasn't the slowest lift in the world, but it wasn't brisk. So we're just taking a look out over the city. We actually didn't get more than about a block farther in this direction, so that on our return trip one of these days in the hopefully not too distant future, we'll have something more new to go explore over there. All things considered, we didn't explore outside of the kind of, we'll just call it the downtown core. I don't think anyone there would call it that, but I'll call it that. Kind of the old town, new town, and not all the way through either of those. But with the exception of our trip to Leith and then out to the botanical gardens, we didn't get more than like a mile, maybe mile and a half at most away from where our hotel was even. So we have a lot of not counting the trip with Miss Moon and Patter, because that was kind of to almost literally, that's the other side of the country. The country's that big. So that, not counting that, we didn't get much more than, a mile or two away from the hotel. So we have so much to do when we go back. So this is the big upper deck area that they have built. That's Edinburgh Castle right over there. What a lot of people had said, that this from here is actually a cooler view of the castle than if you go inside on the tour. So lots of people making us feel super good about not shelling out the cash days in advance to reserve a tour spot in the castle. When we go back, we'll probably go in though, just because inside the castle is very cool for different reasons. And then our hotel is kind of straight that way if you recognize it. There'll be a test later. And then that's looking back over my shoulder a little bit. And someone looking at me with the binoculars. I hadn't noticed that at the time. But I now have record, just in case. That is... Actually, that's the block that we walked down. Greyfriars Bobby is the short one right here in the near ground. And then if you walk up and away a little bit, Napier's, the lotion and potion joint, is at the far end of the higher buildings up this street. And that is as far that direction as we got. I hope the test is multiple choice. No, it's multiple choice. Master Jedi and I, we had it was economics, right? Zubro? Yes. We had an economics class with Professor Zubro, who, he invented noon to 1 p.m. classes at our university. He was about 117 years old, and he invented them when he was 14 and teaching there. And he also invented the multiple choice test. So you had A, B, C, and D, and then line E would be A and B, A and C, A and D, B and C, A, D, A, B, C, A, B, D, all of them except this one. And so with 4 possible answers, he would then break it out into about 20 possible responses. He was such a dick. And then Master Jedi hates me because it was an economics class, so I went to like 3 of them and then just took the final and passed the class because it was just math. I got a math minor, so I didn't have to go do anything. What is wrong with that professor? Yeah. The one thing that he had going in his favor was he was one of the rare times I actually went to class. He was giving a lecture on something, and then he turned around and noticed someone were they not paying attention or were they asleep? They were asleep. So he whipped a hunk of chalk right at them, beamed them, woke them up. I thought that was pretty classic. I enjoyed that. But everything else, he was just an absolute monster. And he had tenure, so they had to wait for his death to get rid of him. And even then, I'm not sure he had to. It was probably in his tenure to be buried on campus. I'm guessing at that. Don't quote me. So I got a better view of the castle. And those cranes still waiting to topple over on me over there on the right-hand side. And then I like the little rooftop sort of gardening. Kind of rooftop xeriscaping, I guess. It rained enough there. I don't know why they would need to particularly xeriscape, but here it is. Maybe it's all native local stuff. But lots of it. Also, it helps them to keep track of people who are trying to get too close to the edge. You have a long way to go to get to the edge. And then that might be the Gothic rocket on the far right, but the one up front, that one sits on the Royal Mile. And it's just a very pretty building top. And look at that, another zoom on the castle. It's a little disappointing that they're flying the Union Jack instead of the Scottish flag up top, but okay, whatever. It's not my politics to worry about yet. And then there's just a couple of... I assume that those were ships with their own built-on cranes rather than being like floating oil derricks or something. Didn't really know. I took a picture. Someday I'll figure it out. That day's not today. I did note there's a Ukrainian flag flying over something over there. I think that's what drew my attention at first. And then it's just really cool rooftops. All of the rooftops are so not like anything you would pretty much ever find in the U.S. Unless you go to Leavenworth, Washington, because they make it look like a little Bavarian village. So then you get a little bit of European rooftop there. And then we've gone back into the museum. This is back down to the main display floor. This is a great big engine. I should have the picture of the sign next. There you go, the beam engine. The beam engine is the big one. The little one on the far right, that is the model. I took a picture of the sign of the model. The model runs once every 30 minutes from 10:15 till 1645. I did not see it run once when we were there, and we were there for 3, maybe even 4 hours.
Yeah, a lot of good expressions.
Mirk, welcome in.
That didn't take too long.
Da, 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 da. Good bowling. other thing that the new Shouty Outie will do is if you do have it play a clip, it will actually tell you what the game was that was being played in the clip at the same time. So, yeah, I'm definitely going to swap over that. In fact, that may be... Do I want to do that this evening? I was trying to decide if I want to save that for the next time I actually get around to playing a damn game again and hold on to the current settings as long as I am still doing the photo shoot. I'll work on that. We're going to workshop that tonight. So, welcome in, Mark. We are getting close to the end of the National Museum of Scotland. This is our last day in Scotland. There are still... We're down to only 54 more photos of Scotland to go. And then I'm not sure how big the Ireland album is. I'll check when we get there. I do have the Tartan Parade built. Okay, we're going to finish the next 54 photos. And then we're going to do the Tartan Parade. The one caveat I have with the parade coverage is that I got photo to turn off HDR so that it stops washing out the photos in OBS. It refuses to turn off HDR on the videos. I haven't been able to work my way around that. You sure there's at least one photo? Yeah, there's always one photo. So we'll do the Tartan Parade next. And then we're going to see how we stand on photos. May still do Ireland next week. We do know that our good buddy Dan Servo is not going to stream today due to OBS injury. And our other good friend Jason Bullman is in Edinburgh, as it so happens right now. So he is not streaming today. So unless like Rob, you're still there and you jump back to a stream, or if Mark, you're gonna crank one up. I don't know when I'll end. Maybe I'll go until I'm hangry. We went to the dim sum place in Portland for brunch today. Because it's Portland, you got to do everything for brunch. We've been there before, but this is the first time we've been back in a while. We went with a bunch of Master Jedi's co-workers, so we got to introduce them to a bunch of it. So I ate like 5 hours ago, and I am still sick to my stomach full. So I may end up having to take like a nap break to deal with this. Brunch and then Voodoo Donuts on the way home. Nico will attest to this. I don't want to say Voodoo Donuts aren't good, but Voodoo Donuts aren't great. They're spectacular based on the root word spectacle, but they aren't great donuts. Yeah, they're very okay. Blue Star, they have good donuts. There was the Bardic, if you're still here, Nola Donuts were great here, but I think they're all gone now.
The mochi ones are good.
There's a place here called Mochi Donut. I'm getting feedback over here. This is why she likes to come down while I'm doing the photo and babble streams. Mochi Donut, they make really good donuts. I think that I finally had a cronut there. It was really good. Were they as great? Were they as stupid as whatever this dot cake nonsense going on is now? I think they were a little bit better than that, because this dot cake stuff is BS. You and I both know it. Overhated, I'm assuming that was overrated. And overloved, yeah. Short take on Voodoo. Yeah. Oh, good. Okay, good. You've had the mochi. Voodoo got its reputation from when they first started, and they were technically producing illegal foods, like their Pepto-Bismol one, because they're right there on Ankeny Alley, where all of there's strip clubs and dive bars and all that stuff is right down there. The real late night liquored up crowd. So they had a lot of hangover cures on their donuts, and they just stayed open stupid late for that.
Snakes.
Bacon Faces made it. Oh, what were we doing there? Oh, there was some wordplay earlier. I thought of you. I'll go back to it because I got to share with old Bacon Snakes. So, welcome in. You did miss the snow, though. I had the one picture to prove we were in the Highlands. I took a picture of the snow. Yeah, they did a Pepto donut, a NyQuil donut. They had a whole bunch of them. They were just putting stuff on. They were putting on regulated medications onto their donuts and then not checking your prescription before allowing you to purchase them. So yeah, they got in trouble. But they just stopped doing that because by then their reputation had cranked up enough that people would come from far and wide just to get the amazing donuts. Yeah, they're okay, and they're not terrible donuts by any stretch of the imagination. They're, generally speaking, they're still going to beat your grocery store bakery type of donut. Although there are a few grocery stores I've been to that have amazing bakeries. But in general, yeah, they're still better than that. But you can do so much better here. It's a good way, sadly, to get word of mouth going. Yeah, well, and that really wasn't their intention. Their intention was to hang out where all of the late night drunk people were and sell them tons of donuts, and it worked like gangbusters. So that's where they got their whole start. And now they have the pretzel dick voodoo guy. That's kind of their new current claim to fame. Yeah, exactly. Fred Meyer. Depending on which one you go to, some of them actually have really good bakeries, and they do a really nice job. They make a solid donut. And some of them have some of the other stores do it for them, and then by the time they're delivered, they're already half stale. They just ruin everything. So let me hang on. I've got wordplay just for Old Bacon Snakes, and then we'll jump back forward again. This is really dumb. It's not worth doing this, but look at me. I'm the captain now. There you go. Just for you, Old Bacon Snakes. This'll do nicely. If anyone can appreciate a good turn of phrase, I know it'll be you. Have you tried Dough Donut? I do not know of Dough Donut. Okay, Master Jedi knows of Dough Donut and says it's good. Is it because you've had it or because you've had attestation? Master Jedi has had Dough Donut and can swear by it. That's what I'm saying. At least likes it.
It's women owned.
It's owned by the women's. So that's how you know it's good. Let's run back to our beam engine model. There we go. Okay, let's get back to this. I may have stalled enough that we can get through the rest of the Scotland photos, and then we're doing the tartan parade, and then I will probably wrap up and save Ireland for next week. We'll finally conclude my TED Talk series on next week. Master Jedi is here to try out all of the donuts. So if you find yourself at PDX, the Portland Airport, they have a blue donut. Am I saying the words right? Blue Star donut. I knew I was getting some words confused in there. They do have a Blue Star there in the airport. Technically, I don't think you even have to clear security to get to it. They just remodeled the entire airport. They shifted a bunch of stuff around. They're in the same physical location, but they moved the way security works around. So I don't think you even have to go through security, and you can get to the Blue Star. That's the donut you probably want here. Unless you're Nico, and then Master Jedi is finally going to meet you and take you to Dough Donut. But nobody else. No one. Okay, honestly, if you showed up and hit me up on Discord, we'd come meet you at the airport and take you to a donut place. So, and there's the close-up on the model. Didn't run once the entire time I was there, despite claiming it runs every 30 minutes. And that's kind of your customer service help desk. We're back on the -1 floor. No one else. Well, yeah, we would totally for Sandwich. Sandwich was going to come down to Portland, like within the last month or two, but things have gotten weird with Sandwich, so he's had to skip out on a bunch of streams and a bunch of other things, so he didn't make it down here as it turned out. But sooner or later he will, and we will 100% take him for a donut. And then at the museum, since Greyfriars Bobby it's literally across the street from one end of the museum, they sell a freakishly realistic looking plush doll of the Greyfriar, of Bobby himself. So I had to snap a picture of that. And then there's the picture of the statue of the dude that I took on the way in. I took a picture of his butt the first time. This time you can kind of get the front oblique profile. Yeah, Euro Rocky. And we are back on we may be on a tram. No, we're probably on the bus this time. I think this is the Prince's Gardens. We're going to hop off here to go catch the tram to take us back to the hotel. I think we're starting to almost get just late enough in the day. Yeah, that's definitely a bus that we're sitting on. I don't know why I took a picture of that dude. I don't know, but he's been immortalized. Maybe it was a total accident based on timing. So I thought, okay, good, that dude's finally gone. Now I can take the picture. And now there's a different dude in the way. And now there's a dudeless picture. I don't know what's wrong. I don't know what's wrong with me. Here we are. We're ready to catch the tram. There are so many buses in this. This site is Newtown. This is just the very edge of Newtown. But yeah, this is your primary corridor here, and there's so many buses, which is very cool because there are so few individual passenger cars. So many buses. Here we are back at the park out in front of the hotel, hopping off the tram. We're slowly but surely taking pictures of a little bit of everything as we go because we are headed back to the hotel because our car service is going to arrive for us at some point. As it turns out, dude arrived 15 minutes early. We got there 30 minutes early so we could make sure that we had gotten settled, and then that would give us about 15 minutes to get our luggage out of the hotel's storage system. But we got there, we got settled for a couple of minutes. We thought, well, yeah, at quarter till, that's when we'll go hit our good friend Joseph, the doorman, up to get our bags collected from him, and then we'll make sure everything's good. And then that gives us 15 minutes to put a couple of souvenirs in there and do whatever else we'd collected. So I think it was actually at 16 minutes till, so 60 seconds before we were going to get up and go talk to him. He walks over and says, "Were you having a car come to pick you up? Because I think he's here." And so panic ensued, but everything was good. There's another picture of that. Let me see if I got a picture. Okay, so at this point we're in the car. Now at this point we are in the car. This time around, the private car is kind of your classic English black cab, except that this was Scotland, so it was white and driven by the most adorably Scottish man. Was he the most? He and Joseph were really well tied, but this cab driver was definitely kind of more of your country folk time. He had the much thicker brogue, and he was the chatty Cathy type. It was amazing in this particular case, and he was super excited because he had managed to get a hold of World Cup tickets, and he is coming to Boston like 2 weeks from now, I think. He's hoping he's coming to Boston because I think it was just yesterday I saw a story that our worthless government is screwing around with the travel documents with a bunch of Scottish visitors because you don't need a reason anymore. They're just doing it. So there are a bunch of Scottish soccer hooligans who may not actually get to come to see the soccer matches that they dropped a good $2,000 on tickets for. Everybody breathe, deep breaths. Deep breaths. I hope he doesn't get screwed, at least. Is butts not a command here? I honestly thought it was.
Hold on to your butt.
That one is, at least. So here we are. We're in the cab. I saw another Black Sheep Coffee, so I took a picture of it. I thought this was actually a slightly cooler looking building than the one that we had our Norwegian waffles with Miss Moon and Powder earlier. So I took a picture of it. There's the Warhammer shop. If you follow Jason Bullman on social media, you will see that he's also posted a photo of this during his trip to the UK Games Expo this last week and a half. I didn't go in because I don't make enough money to even look at the store any longer than it takes to take a picture of it. Go government. Yeah, we'll talk about Master Jedi's job someday, but that's not today. I don't want to talk about that today. There's a statue in the distance. I don't know. There is one. I think when we were coming back from the botanical gardens, the bus route we were on came up to that statue's butt. And half a block down is where the Hard Rock Cafe is. So I just recognized, hey, we were at that statue. I didn't know that it was pedestrian mall if we had been able to keep going. So I think I literally just took a picture of the pedestrian mall. This is somewhere called Roseburn. It's just kind of a castle-like building sitting out there in some grass, and we drove by it, so I took its picture. The airport in Edinburgh is very similar to DIA, Denver's airport. It is 160 miles away from the downtown core because they needed to build it as far away as they could get it to not be a major eye, ear, fuel pollution problem for the main downtown area. So this is actually kind of a long ride to get out to the airport. It's not a big airport, but it's definitely way out there. So we got to drive by a whole bunch of stuff as we went. In fact, I still got 40 more pictures of stuff. So there's another picture of the castle. I think the black diagonal lines are a feature of the window on this cab. I think, like the defroster lines you get in the back. I think he had some of those along the side here too. So they show up on almost all my pictures. We're finally getting somewhere near the airport apparently, because there's a control tower. And boom, we're inside. We're inside all of a sudden. I have more pictures of the outside of the airport taken from the inside of the airport once we're half jogging to the gate because they've announced they feel like leaving early. So I took a picture. I don't know. It's an airport we've never been to before. We didn't fly in to Scotland. We took the train in. So this is our first trip to the airport here. That picture was taken about 2.5 feet to the right from the prior one. In case you can find a way to game the system, this is what security looks like there. I almost accidentally took a bottle, a little short plastic sparkling water bottle through the scanner with me. It would have been so embarrassing if I'd gotten caught. Probably would have been arrested. That I took a picture of because it's a banana. You don't need any more reason than that. Caution, wet banana. So you get a good look at the departure board. You get a pointer to the departure gates, and then you go into duty-free Disneyland. This is one of the smaller international airports I have ever been in, and it dwarfed every other duty-free shopping area in any other airport I have ever been in, with the exception of Sydney. It was a little bit bigger, but the airport itself was like 9 times bigger than Edinburgh's. So at this point, I think I took a picture just so if I'd have a picture of the departure board, a nice curved screen and everything. I didn't yet realize just how big their duty-free area was. Just to prove, I had an Iron Brew before we left. Turns out they make it in diet. Who knew? So the can's silver instead of blue, so that was a little bit of a letdown. It didn't photograph quite as well, but I still did it. And look, I took a picture with my glasses off. This is JD's. There was a weird, kind of almost like TGI Fridays type naming convention to this little airport restaurant. But it was very coolly decorated. All of the "We're Proud of Scotland" stuff around the walls. So I took at least this picture of it. And it was one of those joints where you scan the QR code on the table and it takes you to their order site. And then you do all of the ordering with your table number and then they just bring it out to you, which I've known as a concept before, but this is the first place I've actually been to somewhere where that is the only way to order. I've been to a couple where that's been an option, but usually by the time everybody has the phones out and they start the process, then wait staff comes over and takes your order anyway. So this is the first time I've actually gotten to order that way. And then Master Jedi and I ordered separately, and hers came out way faster than mine, which was rude, but because our driver was extra early and it had booked us tons of time to get through the airport, which we didn't need, we had a bunch of time to kill anyway, so it panned out. So, and this is how it really got its TGI Fridays vibe, is they were prepared to alcohol you if you so desired. Plus, it just looked It looked pretty cool. I took a picture of some of the weird Pringles flavors. Everyone who's been here long enough knows that Burger King is dead to me, but just the fact that they had, I had a moment with the Chicken Royale, so I had to take that picture because even though the Quarter Pounder is a McDonald's thing, just the fact that they applied it to the Burger King side just kind of made me chuckle. But yeah, having a chicken burger flavored Pringle. I'm going to define it as sounding kind of weird, but I'm not going to say it sounded bad. It was just unusual. So yeah, I had to take a picture of that. And you can't go wrong with a bacon double cheese XL. Having said all of that, because it's Burger King, I refuse to buy one. Interesting. Yeah, there were some weird ones along the way. Canada was really kind of the champion of having that's weird. And no, I don't think I'd even want to try that one. I think everything in the UK, with the exception of I don't know why. I'm going to acknowledge that up front. I don't know why, but the thought of ketchup crisps, ketchup chips, whatever the hell you want to call them, is abhorrent to me. I mean, like dipping your French fries in ketchup, wouldn't even think twice about. I typically don't. I like other things on my fries now because I'm old and I'm just kind of generally bitchy about everything anymore. But everyone knows that. But something about ketchup flavored Pringles skeeves me. And Canada has the ketchup flavored Lay's. I don't like Lay's just because they're a boring shape. They need to be Ruffles at a minimum. Ketchups. Look, Nico, you are back. You are back in it with the punnage. Good job. I finally found Highland Coos just as we were leaving the country. Yes, I did buy a box of these. And in fact, they even had these in Ireland as well. So I bought a second box in
There we
Ireland
go. I'm
before we
going to
left.
end on a good note.
There you go. Yeah. So now you'll just have to sit quietly for the rest of the time. So yes, I bought this box of Highland Coos here. And so now we're kind of half jogging down the terminal. And so there's what the exterior of the airport looks like. This is pretty good timing. This is absolutely going to be cold by now, but I'm going to drink it anyway, Nico, because you've redeemed a hydrate, so by God, I'm giving you a hydrate. It's not iced cold yet. It's not great anymore. But that's why I get the Nescafe Extra Dark Instant. God damn it, Nico Bardic. That's okay. I think the timing is good now for finishing off Scotland and then moving on to the Tartan Parade. Yes, Master Jedi is very concerned about my private hydration levels. So it's most easily adjusted by tweaking my public hydration levels. I know, everybody's looking out for me. That's why I love every single person here, even the lurkers. So, welcome to Edinburgh, full of character. I don't know if that's actually just like a Scotch ad. I suspect it is, but it was blocked by those trees at the bottom, so I never really did tell. There's the tower. The outside of the tower is like tile and stuff. It's really cool looking. So cool looking that I didn't get a close-up picture of it. You're welcome. Very reminiscent of the Opera House in Sydney, if you happen to have ever been there and know what that looks like. I got a picture of me touching that someplace else. Now, this is the part where Master Jedi started to freak out a little bit. We were on a turboprop, and the kind where actually we already had to walk across the tarmac to get to here. I guess the working theory is you walk through the rain to get here, and then you can stand under this small covered area while you wait for the plane to actually be ready for you to walk across more tarmac to walk up the stairs. But not even stair car type stairs. These were the, classic old-fashioned, the door opens and stairs flop out of the plane type stairs. So the plane wasn't that old, but it was a really old design. So one of these here bad boys where you got to climb right up into the butt of the plane is very cool. And I think they loaded up all of the luggage up in the front. It was kind of wild. Just after you get used to flying Boeing and Airbus almost exclusively, to suddenly find yourself on something else is kind of crazy. So I got a bunch of pictures of this Aer Lingus plane. I think it's literally the Ryanair of Ireland. So it is a cheap discount carrier. I think the reason Costco booked this for us, not because it was cheap, but because it was a late flight, so that we could maximize the time that we spent in Scotland, because they knew our preference in countries. So trying to get as late a flight as possible, this one ended up being the winner. This is the kind where if you wanted water on the flight, you had to pay for it. And technically they had a pay scheme for carry-on luggage. And I don't know if we got exempted from it because of our class of ticket, or if you get on board and discover that your thing doesn't fit the smaller than normal overhead or under your seat, so you need them to take it to the front or back storage. I think that you have to pay on the spot for. It was something weird like that. Also, this is the story I'd promised I'm actually going to remember. So on our flight from Portland to Heathrow on British Airways, our weight allowance was 22 kilos per bag. So like 46, 22, 44, so 48 pounds. So just shy of 50 pounds each. On this flight, the limit was 20. Yes, the limit was 20. I thought, well, okay, that's no problem. I was a little worried about Master Jedi's bag because she takes the bigger bag when we go. But when we got on the initial flight, it only weighed 17 kilos. So we thought, well, that was five clearance for British. That should be 3 clearance for Aer Lingus then. We're covered. I'm not going to worry about it. Any souvenirs we pick up on the first 2, we'll put in my bag, because my bag was down like 5 or 7 because I don't bring much. So we get to the Edinburgh airport. We're going through check-in. Smaller the plane, the more important getting the weight balance. Yeah, well, yeah, that is very true. Balancing, yes, but the total weight limit. Now is where we get to the fun part of the story. We're checking in. I do hers first, and I think hers came down. Yeah, hers actually, I think it was like still at 17. So it was 3 under the limit. We are so good. We are rocking and rolling. Here we go. I'm going to bring up rock and roll here. Everything is going to be perfect. This is great. I then do my check-in. I put my bag up on, and it says, you're overweight by 6 kilos. How the hell does this thing weigh 26 kilos? That's 4 times as much as it did when we first came out. We didn't buy that many souvenirs. I take it back off. I'm going back and forth, and finally the computer says, yeah, you should probably just go talk to a person at the desk instead of trying to check it in here at the automated terminal. So we go do that. It turns out, and the guy at the counter that we finally got just kind of shook his head and couldn't explain it. It had decided that the 20 kilos was between the 2 of us to split. So her 17 kilo bag left me with 3 kilos of weight allowance, and I think I was at 9, so so it told us that we were 6 kilos over. And my original thought was, oh, somehow I'm at 26, whatever, let's just get on the plane. I'll pay whatever the fee is for 6 kilos overweight. But that wasn't an option. If you were overweight, apparently you weren't getting on without talking to a human. So he shook his head and says, yeah, I don't know why. Sometimes it does that. So he manually checked us in, and yeah, I was at 9, and while she was at 17. So that then gets us back out to here. We're about to get on. I took a bunch of pictures. I also took a bunch of video of the plane during takeoff. I've excluded it because of the whole HDR thing, really, because it's just going to wash it out and you aren't going to be able to see crap out the window, which is the whole point. But I found it interesting that part of the pre-flight announcement, because of GDPR, there was a whole bunch on everything we were on saying, please try not to take pictures of other people on their vacations without their permission, because that's, European privacy laws. I'm cool with that. Understand, no problem. This airline didn't want you to take a picture of their employees doing their job. Technically, I get that. That still follows under that same umbrella. Also, please don't take pictures of their equipment, especially their equipment in operation. That's weird. Privacy laws don't extend to airplanes, I do not believe. So I took pictures of the airplane, including while the airplane was moving. That's how I roll. Welcome to America. We do what we want. And everyone hates us for it. Okay, I'm going to breathe. Okay, so here we are. We're about to get on the plane. I turn back around just to prove that, we're just standing around. Airplanes don't have feelings. Well, they have feelings, they just don't have rights, which hurts their feelings, but that's their problem. So British Airways does serve this airport. So I've already looked into what just going back to Edinburgh for like a 10-day vacation would involve. You can just fly British Airways. You can't fly straight from Portland to Edinburgh, but you can fly to Heathrow and then hop up into Scotland. Weirdly, I can't get Costco to show me the direct flight from Portland to Heathrow anymore. It desperately wants us to go through Seattle first instead, which isn't a bad hop. That wouldn't be a real problem, but I really liked having that one straight flight, because once you have to cook in from drop off at the airport until gate change in Seattle, you're looking at at least 2 extra hours just to get to that point. And then the same length international flight. So all of a sudden the 9.5 or a little less to get there turns into, maybe it's 11.5, pushing 12. And then you're going to have a multi-hour layover in Heathrow before you get on another 1.5-hour flight up into Scotland. So all of a sudden, the 9.5-hour travel day we had going one direction turns into like maybe 16. And I don't want to do that if I can avoid it. So that's something for future planning. But we do know British Airways does fly directly in here, so that is going to be the plan in the future. So the sun is finally starting to get low, because this is the 8:30 departure flight, and it's currently... Oh, I have the timestamp available to me. Our 8:30 flight, it is now 7:52, and there's one woman who's behind us. I think we were literally the last 3 people on the plane. So this bad boy went early. And there's a couple dudes just hanging around, ready to push the plane back. And another shot of the tower. You can get a look. So the tiles are kind of small, but they layer them in a pattern so that you can actually see better pattern. If I pull this down, you can actually see a little more of the tower there. So there's a pattern in the pattern on the tower. Well, since it's doing this incorrectly, I can just swoosh in this way. So there you can see all of the nice line work that is themselves subtiles. Let's see. Let's kind of put you roughly back in the center. How does that look? Do I have it lined up on the bottom? I've almost got it lined up on the bottom. Yep, I got to look at what OBS broke so that I can get this lined up better for next week. There, I took a picture of their equipment. Screw you, Ireland. So yeah, I got to sit right next to the engine. I've been on turboprops that have been louder. Flight from SeaTac to Vancouver, the good one. That was an incredibly loud flight. I got bumped to the butt of the plane because there was a woman in a wheelchair that they decided needed my seat. So she got to sit next to Master Jedi on our flight to Vancouver, while I got to sit with a bunch of other people who were we were on our way to do an Alaskan cruise. So I got to sit with a bunch of other cruisers in the back, so at least I got to meet them, I guess. But I didn't get to actually fly with the person that I paid to have a ticket next to. So that was 2002. So that's 24 years of bitterness. Don't think I can't hold a grudge. I'm not going to comment, Nico. She needed it. She didn't need it, is all I'm saying. So there's a picture of the prop and the tower. See, I got a ton of pictures of the tower just to prove that it was there. And so, now there's a picture with no tower. I David Copperfield that right there. Oh, okay, actually, I guess the rest of the picture is different too, isn't it? So the blades have actually started spinning a little bit at this point. So there's a little bit of motion blur kicking in. Oh, now we got a bunch more motion blur. We taxied for about a day and a half. Your silence is all needed. Yeah, that was it. Ooh, this one's a video. This one's a video, everybody. I accidentally didn't filter this out. Let's see what happens. Because there's not much sky in it, the HDR is actually not a terrible mess. So look at this. You're getting a free video, everybody. This video is 45 minutes long, by the way, so I suggest everyone get a break.
It's early.
Lots of grass. I can hear someone talking right there in my earphones. It's probably Nico, so be quiet, Nico. The other thing I can tell you is it's not Master Jedi. We're freezing up. We're freezing up. That's right. That's what I ran into with the video last time, because it's insisting on doing it in HDR. It starts to get a little choppy. What happens if I jump in? I don't think. Oh, there we go. I fixed it. I'm a computer professional, everybody. I got it fixed. Okay, we're finally on the flight line. We're turning so that I'm facing straight into the sun. Welcome to focus on the window. This is probably going to be a disaster for the rest of the way out here. Oh, there we go. I panned back a little bit to get the sun directly off the lens. We got 30 seconds. We're throttling up. There it is. I have video evidence of their equipment in operation. And this is actually me kind of getting rocked back and forth as these cranking the throttle there. And then at this point, yeah, there's nothing else to focus on. It's a tire fire from that point. Oh, actually, if I come back here, can I remove? Boom. For future, I'm going to remove that video from the album, just so in case I ever show this to anybody. In case I can ever stomach going through this again with anybody else, I'll remove the video from the photo album. We'll put the video in the video album. So we're flying. There's Scotland from above. There's more of Scotland from above. It looks remarkably like a lot of other places from above. It's a better picture. There's those bridges. I got the bridges in the photo. Top right there. There you go, Patter. And at this point, the photos are just going to keep getting worse and worse because I was on the sun side of the plane. We are flying southwest at this point to get to Dublin. So I'm facing into the sun. We lost the sun shortly before we got there because it was overcast. So we didn't land with the sun still in my eyes, but it wasn't dark until we had finally gotten out of the airport and into the car park where our private car was waiting for us. So we're fully airborne, get some cool cloud pictures. If there weren't enough cool cloud pictures from the first flight, I've got not as many this time, but this time we're at a lower altitude, so you can actually see the clouds a little bit better. So I took a bunch. I love clouds with texture in them like that. And oh my God, the propellers, they're all bending. And there's the sun, plus some cool clouds. At this point, we're actually starting our descent. We are still over the water, so this doesn't count as an Ireland photo yet, but everyone will be happy to know I've only got 3 more. There's the water. That's probably inside of Irish territorial waters at this point, so this might be in the wrong album. But I'm not positive, so that's why I've left him here. That's a blurry picture of nothing. Don't look at that. And then there's more water with some clouds. The sun is finally no longer in my eyes because it's overcast enough. And congratulations, everybody. We have made it to the end of the Scotland photos at 3:56 p.m. on the dot. So well played. Since Dan Servo isn't going to do his thing today, I'm going to take a gamble that I can actually get these. The videos, these tend to be little short video snippets. I don't think any of them are longer than about a minute. I think there's a chance they might play back adequately and not choke up OBS. So we're going to go back in time a couple of days to the Tartan Parade. And this is a video album. This is going to be way better than anything and everything else. Look at this parade. Hold on to your butts. I got a button for that. Hang on, let me go. It's not in scope, so I got to push that button.
Hold on to your butt.
That button plays it without issuing the command. So having said that, does this actually... If I did the smart thing, I wouldn't count on that. I may have actually put... I put the photos and the videos in here together. It's the entire parade. Now we got down here. So the parade started up at the castle. And then it worked its way down the Royal Mile. And then it came down this little crooked, twisty street. And then it popped out of those buildings just straight ahead of where the Grand Master's tartan bus was. And then it walked straight toward camera, up this little hill, and then it made a left-hand turn into the Prince's Garden, and then it ended right in front of the Gothic Rocket. So we tried to time it so that we wouldn't be standing in this spot, because this was the closest spot to our hotel, for half an hour waiting for the parade to actually make it to us. And as it turns out, I'm betting they probably started it just a little bit early, and they hustled. So we got here, I'm going to guesstimate, probably about 6 entrants in. So the crowd had already started to build. It wasn't super thick yet, but there were a handful of pipe bands and dancers and things that had already congregated in the little park space by the rocket. So we missed a couple, so I don't have the grand opening to the parade, but we have the bulk of the parade here, and then I've got the static photo that I've already showed of the very end of the parade. So we are set, we are lined up. The static images here will all be repeats, but the videos should all be new. I'm waiting to find one that is actually a video. I think I get like 5 or 6 in. This looks like a video. This is wider. Yeah, this is it. Stand back, you animals. One item of particular note that I had at the time, and also occurs to me now just watching this first band go by, is that when you go to a Highland Games in the US, obviously I can't speak for every games ever, but the ones that I have been to, when you get a pipe band go by, it's 95% guys. There's almost never a woman involved, and I don't know exactly why. I certainly hope it's not an intentional thing. I think it's just a way those things kind of happen to work out here. But here, much higher representation. And I thought it was delightful. same band. This will be Master Jedi. Will have texted me her video of the exact same thing right after it had just gone by. So on my end, it's going to mix them together. Any that she sent me later in the day, they will have ended up in a different spot in my camera roll, and they will not have been included here. But anything that got sent to me right away, we're going to get duplicates on. Okay, that one was on me. That one I didn't actually advance to the next one. I thought, how do I have triplicate? That was literally the second one again. So, yep, we got drummers. The Haywick. I'm going with Haywick. That sounds more Scottish to me. Scout pipe band. This got yeah. When it goes nice and wide like that, it's wider on my screen than it does on open. Oh, dancers are coming. So there's a photo of that band. I've lost my mouse cursor. There it is. There we go. We got dancers. I know I've got dancing videos in here somewhere, but that may have been a later troupe. There's the Floridians. Everyone stand back. The dinosaurs. Got to have the dinosaurs there. They were not very graceful dancers, so I'm pretty sure I don't have any video of them. But this is a story I already got to tell that Old Bacon Snakes had just posted something on Dan's Discord asking about dinosaurs just as the dinosaur group came by. So I immediately posted a response photo. Oh, this is a particularly good photo of that one dino. There we go. I put the play control over it. Pentland, Caledonia.
Get all the amazing ways.
Edinburgh Tartan Army. Apparently we skipped the Tartan Army. Oh no, wait, this is the front of that other band. We got the Scotties. I got a bunch of pictures. I could never get a good solid picture of the Scotty. A, because there were people in front of me. B, because the dogs kept moving. We took our boy, Obi, in the 4th of July parade in the little mountain town where my family has a cabin. So we were actually a parade entrant. We took our Scotty in the parade. He got tired in the first quarter mile. I got to carry him through the rest of the parade. So that's my experience with parade dogs. A couple band leaders, a bunch of Utes training to become pipe band leaders. Lots of sticks and marching and things. That is a band coming. This is a band video. That guy's video. This is really cool if you listen to this with your headphones in. iPhone actually does a really good job of picking up the stereo coming out of that. At this point, I'm seeing that there's a big crowd of people that have kind of flooded the middle of the street. I'm wondering if the parade is over. As it turns out, this is just a bunch of people that wanted to cross over and like to do it right smack in the middle there, right behind the little dancing group that's coming. But you can see all the people in blue up in the background there. That's actually where the little crooked street pops out, just right where they're all facing back into the background. So I accidentally got a pretty decent view of the parade route. This one's really wide. This isn't a video, is it? Nope, just really wide. I must have accidentally double tapped something because this is only 6 seconds long. So there's dancers not dancing. There's dancers again. I think they started dancing once they got a little bit closer. Wow, I accidentally actually ended up in the front row there. Did I end up with any video? Probably not. But I got lots of snaps. Oh, this is video. This is it. This is it. This is it. Scottish dancing. Michael Flatley can suck it. And then there was more dancing. This must be Master Jedi's half then of the photos coming into me after I've shot my video portion. She is shorter, so it's easier for her to kind of squeeze her way up toward the front and get the unobstructed photos. There might be a reason why I cut that one right smack in the middle, but probably not. Is this the same group? Did it just reset? Yes, it just reset me in the middle of that video. Strathisla. No one knows what to think of bagpipe music. Either you roll with it or you don't. That's kind of how it goes. I have a CD full of bagpipe music that I technically don't know where it is right now, but I still own it. I actually probably have the iTunes version of it available now, so I'll just play it on my phone. Yeah, I don't know who that group is. There's that great big dog. Can I pet that dog? The answer was no, because the dog is in the parade. Oh, hey, no, wait, go back to... Or was it showing me the... Wait, what? Why did it auto-jump me? How did it... How is it here, and then it's here? What's going on? Oh, it was trying to give me a little mid-video thumbnail. Yeah, I don't play these on my Mac very often. I usually watch them back on my phone. The Mac is helping me. Also, I noticed that it's not totally washing out the HDR like it was before. Maybe the turn off HDR actually finally kind of stuck. Because it's also not stuttering. I'm pretty happy with this. There's a big dog on the drum. Oops, I lost my mouse again. Oh, there it is. See, I'm clicking on the next button, and it's doing the drop and a bring back up, but it's not actually moving me to the next photo. There it is. We're actually already like 3/4 of the way through the parade yet. This won't go on forever. You got cosplayers coming. Okay, it tried to trick me, but I got through it. And then I think this is Master. Yeah, this is Master Jedi's version of the same video, but she did it longer than I did. So I'm going to pick up right here. We're just going to watch the back. This way you get your cosplayers in. That heraldry on a stick. I thought about getting one of those for myself. The place where I did get my souvenir. I think technically I had them available, but you had to go to their sister stores. There's adorable little tartnets all walking by. And then we got another dance squad, including a teeny tiny dancer. There's your little tiny dancer.
So cute.
The Eagle Pipers Society. The Whiskey Club is coming. There it is. Got a picture of the Whiskey Club. And then Titch was kind enough to inform that this is in fact pronounced Butte. But we didn't go there. And then that's I think that's Master Jedi's copy. Hang on, let's get the line that up. It needs to go down just a little bit. Right there. Okay, I think we're good. Here are the literal tartanettes. That's what they named themselves on tour. And then imagine that. It's another dance squad. It's probably not what they call themselves. Oh, there we go. This one is a video. Boom, spontaneous dance. They're not doing too badly for dancing to not their own music. They're kind of relying on the pipe band ahead of them to provide sound. And there's a... Okay, there we go. I thought there's someone in a headdress, so there's probably something going on here. In this video, it doesn't like. This video, you can just watch with your eyes closed. Oh, here we go. Now we're settled on that. No one look. Just listen. And more dogs. And then the neurodiversity target. That is so cool. And it's a really good color combo. I love it. So this one was Master Jedi's picking up. No, that's actually a subset. Between the two of us, we got a subset there. So there's the... Oh, that's only a couple of seconds long. So we're going to skip over that one. There's a rogue tartanette. This is almost the end of the parade. Here's another 30 seconds of video. 2 more after this, and then everyone can go home. They'll all be dismissed. Here they are playing the classics. There's the coppers following up the parade. So this was a... Oh, and then we end... The last one was actually the end of the parade. This was Master Jedi sending me one more text photo of the drum with the big dog on it. I think I have to point this way. I can't see OBS. She took the picture because of Santa playing the dog, the bagpipes, but it's really because of the dog on the drum back there. We all know that. I need my control deck back, and we come back here. And oh my God, we have finished Scotland. It only took 2 weeks to get through. He was good at them too. Santa can get down with them pipes. Oh, there's my new smooth jazz for the shout-outs. Oh, talk about grading if you're not into that. I'm not going to do that. So anyway, that brings us to the completion of Nation number 2 on our 3-nation tour. Next Saturday, we're finally going to get to Dublin. Let me take a quick little preview right here. Ireland. Does it? Nope, that's no. I want this one down here. The first England was to. We got a lot of pictures. We got a lot of pictures of Ireland. We're gonna make Ireland fit next week, because the Saturday after that, we're moving on to the Tales of Elliot, and we don't have time for any more of this. So one more weekend, one more sea of the UK and Ireland. And then we're going back to the Sea of Saturdays, and we're going to kick off Millennium Tales, The Adventures of Elliot, the new Square Enix. It's the 2D HD game, but instead of your typical JRPG turn-based combat, it's actually an action RPG. The animation is smooth as silk on the Switch too. I've enjoyed the story. We got to play kind of basically the first chapter on a demo last fall when they released it for the Switch. They just released it for PC and other consoles, so it's available for everyone out there. But that is what we're going to move on to for that. My work sucks right now, so this coming Thursday, definitely not going to stream. So our next stream is going to be Ireland on Saturday. The 18th, that is the day where the panic push at work is due. So I should be done on Wednesday. I don't want to commit to streaming on that Thursday because there's always the post last second panic. So I'm probably not going to make that one. One last sightseeing Saturday before Sea of Saturdays return. Yes, sightseeing Saturday. Sold. You did it. So yeah, I'm probably going to end up leaving the shoutouts and everything just the same because they're going to sit here for a week. And then after that, we're going to continue with the revamp of the layout here. I still love this Intellivision background thing. Actually, this is the Atari background thing that Master Jedi got me. The Intellivision background is a slightly different one. So I'm going to stick with that, but I'm going to change up some of the shouty outies and maybe do some fresh layouts and things again. So that will get us going. So the 13th and the 20th are going to be Sightseeing Saturday, followed by Sea of Saturdays, and then I'm going to do my best to get back into my regular streaming schedule. Saturdays are definitely going to be Elliot for the foreseeable future. Thursday, depending on the timing of me finally finishing Octopath Zero, I may put the finale of that on a Thursday, just so that it finally gets done. And then there's one other game that I'm looking at right now that involves actual active Twitch chat participation. I want to see a good demo of how that actually works instead of just seeing the demos of people talking about how it might work. I actually want to see what it looks like. And if that's a go, then I'll probably do that one on Thursday. And then on top of that, we still have the ABC murders. We've made it through B. We still haven't even seen the C murder yet. So I got to get back to my Hercule Poirot. I got a whole bunch to figure out how to mix in. But I've got way too many other... I got 99 problems, period. End of discussion. I got to find a way to juggle them all. So I'm going to work on that. You're trying to level up to fight the optional last boss in Octo 2. It's kind of like me accidentally fighting the optional level 99 boss in Ys 10. The one that took me like 9 different tries to get through. And probably at my level, I shouldn't have been able to. but perseverance actually finally paid off for a change. Weird how sometimes that works. Let me take a look at who else is streaming right now. Maybe we can find somebody to raid. Nintendo is having some great big Splatoon 3 tournament going on, but that's lame to raid into. My list of people I know who are streaming is actually pretty small right now. Unless there's someone else out there who's streaming their European vacation photos, I may just quit for the day. Raid Nintendo. There are only 251 people watching that, and it's Nintendo, so if it's not in the thousands, it means it sucks. I don't dislike Splatoon 3. I think I just got saturated with the multiplayer. Playing with Nico and Sandwich was fun during one of their big events, but playing solo, it got a little old, a little fast. I think the DLC probably would make it more entertaining and more palatable to me, but unlike Splatoon 2, the Splatoon 3 DLC isn't included for free with the Nintendo Online, so maybe eventually they'll add that and then I'll try it out. Splatoon multiplayer sucks when it's randos. Yeah, that was it. When it could be the three of us on a 4-person team, and so we had one rando doing their thing, that made it kind of fun. If we'd had a fourth, so it was just our own team going through, I think it would have been a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, but eventually it got a little old. So I haven't been back in a while. The single player content was actually okay, but I've got so many other things between actual life and other Switch stuff that I'm probably not going to get back to it. I'll just admit that to myself and everybody else right now. So we are going to skip the raid entirely today. I've already laid out where I should be over the next couple of weeks streaming wise. Don't mind the single player, but so far it feels limited. The Salmon Run was fun, even single player. Again, I did it enough that I just kind of ran out of steam for continuing to do it. I think if I had gotten into doing that more with, say, Nico, that would be even more fun. I could probably even go back to that. But the Raiders game, the spin-off game, is coming. Is it late this month, or it's sometime within the next 45 days? That one I'm definitely playing with Nico. That one we should stream together, Nico. Maybe one day we should get back to Torchlight as well, but we should definitely stream Splatoon Raiders. I think that's its name. So, boom. It's done. We're solved. We are good to go there. So I got a couple more things to click to make sure that the stream is good, and we're going to shut down successfully. Also, I got a couple hydrations. Yeah, I'm going to mark those as done. I think I'm wrapped up. I'm still a little full from brunch, so we may not do a whole lot for dinner here, but I should probably start investigating what the options might look like. And it's been overcast and it's been raining off and on continuously all day long, so I'm getting a little chilly. I might have to put on a house coat or something. Probably not, but it's fun to at least talk about. We have our Rumple blankets if it gets really cold. I don't think it'll get a bit that bad, but you never know. So that soup time. We have the stuff to make soup, a white bean and kale. We've been promising ourselves we'd do it all week long, but we're so tired. Our work sucks so bad right now. If we haven't done it yet, that might make the list. That's also not overly filling, so that might work out really well. Plus, it's full of fiber. Fiber's good for you, especially when you get old. So let me find a button. I want to hit a button. There we go. I did it. Congratulations to all of us. Hopefully, our good friend Urgent Sandwich might stream later today. Everyone should go check him out if he's on. And hey, Nico, if you're streaming later, we'll go catch you as well. I'm going to play a little music. I'm going to send us to the end screen, and then I'm going to hang out for a few more seconds, just in case anyone wants to do a parachute drop or anything. And then I'm going to go to bed. So, good night, everybody. See you next Saturday for Ireland.